Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and we are here for Doctor Who. We are back with another new reaction for Doctor Who, and this one, just gonna mute the live stream for a second. This is to Flux, Doctor Who Flux, being newly released this Halloween. The first episode coming this Halloween. So happy Halloween, wherever you are. Happy Halloween. Hope you're celebrating in really cool ways, and hope you all got great costumes. If you have costumes, if you haven't, then however you're doing it, if you're doing it at all, if it's just another day for you, then more power to you. But yeah, I think I'm not really too sure if this, I think this. I've heard this actually does have some kind of Halloweeny aspects to it. So I don't know if it's going to be extremely Halloweeny themed or if it's going to be something a little bit more minor. But I think Doctor Who could easily pull off like a Halloween episode just as much as they pulled off other kinds of episodes too. So could be fun. But yeah, my Halloween celebrations took place last night with a really, really fun live stream over on the Game Night Cruise channel with Vision and two different Spider-Men and the Pink Ranger and Kim Possible and just a whole host of awesome characters cosplayed by awesome reactors and everything. So make sure to go check that out over on the Game Night Cruise channel and everything. That was really, really fun. And yours truly managed to pull together, like, in the space of 10 minutes, I managed to pull together, like, a very, very kind of, like, zombie Captain America kind of get-up. So, yeah, the consequences of not actually, getting stuff together on time. So hopefully next year I can actually be able to do what I want and be a bit more kind of fashionable and creative and everything. So yeah, but it was fun nonetheless. It was a really, really great time nonetheless. So yeah, those were my Halloween celebrations. Just some fun and games with some awesome people. So that was cool. But Doctor Who, yeah, this is also this is going to be Jodie's final season. I think this season in itself, like a kind of they're definitely a shorter run season. I think about 6 or 7 episodes, so not really like a huge amount of time. But it's going to be her final season, and then I think spread throughout like the first half of 2022, she's gonna she's also gonna have some other kind of specials structured similarly to David Tennant's kind of final few specials made by Chibnall himself before they both actually officially duck out of the show, and then whoever comes afterwards comes. So yeah, the end of Jodie. I think at least like this would be the official beginning of the end of Jodie's run, like her final kind of few months as the Doctor. It's been very weird because I think for like a variety of different reasons, it's kind of felt weird having to accept that because I think I've mentioned this before too. It doesn't really feel like it's really been that long with her, and it doesn't really feel like we've had her for that long. And even I think her first season kind of felt like a bit rockier than most have been. So kind of felt like that could have been structured a little better, and it felt like it didn't really kind of give us like the best possible introduction to Jodie's Doctor that we could have gotten, even though Jodie still managed to ace it as best she could. Then her second season was phenomenal. Her second season, I love that so much more, and what they did with it too. And then I'm pretty sure the last one we had was Resolution. We had Resolution with the Daleks and everything, so that one was fun. So yeah, we've had kind of like this would pretty much be her third season. So that I think like even Jodie herself said that like she promised herself at least 3 seasons before she actually considered an exit. So this would be a mission accomplished. So yeah, so this is Flux, her final season, and we got like 2 different. I think we got one really, really short teaser before, and then like we got like another kind of still semi-short kind of trailer like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Which showed us like a little bit of what this season would entail. Some old and new enemies, some enemies old and new returning. We got the Sontarans coming back. The Sontarans actually going for their like more classic look as well, like with their classic suit and classic kind of looks for the Sontarans. We got the Weeping Angels coming back in, some Cybermen. The Ood are making a return, so like plenty of old kind of faces that I think pretty much any Doctor Who fan will recognise, and then some newcomers for the final season too, which like may or may not be carried on throughout the next Doctor's run. So yeah, some really cool faces returning. Graham and Ryan stepped off at the end of the special. At the end of Resolution, they both stepped off and decided to stay back at home in Sheffield and to live more human lives. But then Yaz stayed on. Yaz was not ready to let her Doctor go. She was not ready to let her Doctor go. So we'll get plenty more the Doctor and Yaz, hopefully, in this season. So something more fruitful and like a lot more kind of fleshed out and well developed in this season. Fingers crossed. But yeah, hopefully they get some stuff, and then we also do have a new companion joining the TARDIS in the form of John Bishop as Dan. He was teased at the end of Resolution. He is going to be the newest companion joining them. So I think whether or not he's in it for this season and the specials, or actually going to continue on beyond the specials and even for the next Doctor, only time will tell. But I don't necessarily have high hopes for him, but I'm curious to see what he's going to be like and to see how he's going to fit in with the Doctor and Yaz, like them having their pre-established kind of history together, and then him just kind of being like the newcomer. Hopefully he does get treated well by writers and fans alike. Hopefully he doesn't really get like unnecessarily hated on or anything. So so curious to see how he's going to be. I don't know if he's actually done any other kind of like TV or movie work. I haven't really seen what any of his acting is like. I think, like, to my knowledge, I think he is mostly like a comedian or like a TV presenter of sorts. I think I haven't really seen him in much at all of anything. So this would be my first kind of introduction to him as an actual actor and as a portrayer and everything. So really curious to see what he's going to be like there, and actually coming to something as big as Doctor Who as well. Really kind of curious to see what he's going to bring to the table. So that should be fun. But yeah, and then the specials too. We had these specials coming in over the course of 2022. So I think similar to the end of David's run as well. Jodie actually getting like a series like of specials. I think her final special is actually meant to be like a more feature length kind of entry too. So like a full on kind of more kind of fleshed out, more kind of bulky kind of exit kind of episode, or maybe even something maybe in terms of runtime too. Maybe something even closer to the actual 50th special, because I think the 60th is in 2023, so yeah, I think whether or not she's going to come back for that, we have no clue whatsoever. So there's really no telling as to whether or not she's. Hopefully, she definitely could. I think she would definitely be close enough within the end, like the end span of her run, as well as close enough within her own kind of like ability to portray the Doctor to actually still come back for that and see what's what, but. Yeah, I think her final special in itself will be kind of like maybe closer to the Day of the Doctor's run, and maybe in terms of actual scale and content it might be close to that, but we just have to wait and see. But yeah, Doctor Who Flux, the end of Jodie. So I have loved her from the very beginning. I've been really impressed by what she's done, and really impressed by what she's brought to the character, and how she's actually made this character her own, and how much opportunity she's brought into the table and into the fandom too. So she has been nothing if not a blessing to the kind of to this world and to this show, and actually using this opportunity to the best of her ability, and actually trying to make it something worthwhile and something memorable. So she has done a spectacular job, and I will easily find myself going back to watch to watch her older episodes, and actually remembering exactly what we've had so far. So yeah, I hope she only goes on to do great things after Doctor Who as well. Her new season hasn't even started yet, and I'm already it kind of feels right to wish her well, even in her upcoming kind of leave of absence and everything. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got in terms of any kind of recapping and pre-spec and all that kind of stuff. So just got the kind of iPlayer live stream running. So yeah, and I believe this. I think this also is the start of a new season too. So I think every week, every Sunday, I think like a new episode should come up. So it would be good to catch up on these episodes weekly as they come out and everything too. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've got. So I will see you guys when the actual reaction rolls around. I'll be sure to sync that up and get that started. And as for the reaction to, you guys know this will just be the fair use version, but for those of you who are interested, the full length version will be over on Patreon, so you can go catch that over there. But yeah, so that's it. So I will see you guys when the episode actually starts.
I can't help feeling that some of this is my fault. All of this is your fault. What do you mean? Accidentally blowing up Carbonista's droid guards when we were trying to sneak into his operations base unnoticed.
Starting off the episode with just them is the ideal way to showcase their relationship. Yeah. Oh god. Oh, they're on broomsticks now. Oh, it's gonna be like broomsticks. Oh, it's gonna I'm gonna ride them like broomsticks. Yeah. Oh, perfect landing. Perfect landing. Oh, perfect landing. Pitch perfect landing.
Right. No one gets away with doing that to us, he has.
They just they just happen to have a bed out open in the Tardis, all set and ready. They just happen to have a bed.
What do you imagine to lie ahead of us?
The cataclysmic. The impossible.
Is he preparing for something?
I'm only chatting. I make your punters happy. What's the point of being alive is not to make others happy?
That's a keen mentality.
It's a date?
Yeah.
Not a date,
No,
I'm presuming,
yeah.
Oh, I think he likes
I'll
die.
go. And don't keep me waiting, you.
Our job is to ensure all incarceration systems are still functional. Evaluation
Weird
reports
cell
on
to be
prisoners'
in.
wards.
Like so much open space, but just a force field. Really? Is he about to break out like Tai Lung style from Kung Fu Panda? Oh god! Whoa! He fully disintegrated and now he's absorbing her. Jesus, he can absorb people. Is he Pinhead? Is he Doctor Who's Pinhead? Oh Jesus. Oh, the Doctor saw all of this. The Doctor saw all of this going down. Is the TARDIS bleeding? Whoa, wow. Oh god, that is a big leak. That's a pretty big leak.
Do you know what it is?
Time juice. I don't know why my mind came up with time juice. Time juice, time sauce.
Take a couple of them for tonight, as long as you promise not to haunt me.
Mm-hmm.
Look after
Oh, he
yourself
works at the
for
food bank too. Nice.
Trick or treat!
Hmm.
Oh, you scared me there.
Trick or treat.
What are you meant to be?
How old are you? What's the difference? You're not even dressed
You're
up.
not even dressed up.
Well, neither are you. Don't be throwing
Oh,
out my
he's got
house.
eggs. Oh, he's got eggs too. Oh. He was even dressed up.
Before the might of the Lupari.
You're paying for that door, you know.
Be silent
Oh, Jesus.
or
Oh.
face execution of Calvinista. Of 1,000 civilizations. Submit or die.
It's Chewbacca.
You will not resist. You will do exactly as I command.
It's freaking Chewbacca with the power of the Force.
You will not resist. You will do exactly as I command.
And I said, get back out through that door.
The Force is not strong with this one. The Force really is not strong with this one. Oh, he
Follow
booped
the
it.
sacred legacy of my forebears.
Oh, the
Go
poor
on, then. I like
bears.
forebears. Go on, shoot. Get back to your mum. Tell her what a brave lad you've been.
Oh, God. Oh.
Never talk of my mother.
Oh my god. Whoa, that's a lot of ships. That's an armada. That is so many ships.
Lupari ships coming this way.
7 billion. Definitely looks like
That's an
it.
invasion fleet, right?
Definitely looks like it.
it.
Yeah. So the alien literally left behind a fake laptop. Wow. Just minimized the house. It just, oh my god. Oh boy. Yeah, that is. No, it literally minimized the house. It literally just minimized the house.
Through space, on my spaceship.
This is one sassy Chewbacca. This is one sassy Chewbacca.
You're insignificant, irrelevant, and utterly meaningless.
Well, he doesn't hold back, does he?
Got to a lot of trouble to kidnap someone who's completely irrelevant.
I mean, I should just kill you.
Yeah, but you haven't though, have you?
What's stopping you? He's got
You're not
orders.
gonna kill me. You could have done that in my kitchen.
Maybe he's operating under
You've
orders.
gone to all this trouble to kidnap me.
I need to see a man about a dog. That's all you said. But it turns out the man is a dog and he's called Carvinista. And you won't tell me why you were so interested in him. Have we met?
Not yet, but we will.
Oh.
In the past, I think, if it's true.
Oh, is this another like a Sally Sparrow
I'm
situation?
Claire.
Claire.
What's true, Claire? I don't mention everything. No kidding. We are friends. Then why won't you let me in? What's going on with you? Nothing's going on with me. Don't lie.
Friends don't lie. Oh, the angels! The angels are here. Already? Really? Already? The weeping angels? Oh god. Oh no, Claire. Oh. Well, we see her in the future, but then does this mean this version of her dies? Be careful, don't trip. Don't trip on any steps. Oh god, you don't look away either. Remember, don't look away, don't blink. No blinking. No blinking. Even I'm not gonna blink. I didn't blink. I didn't blink. I didn't blink. Come on. Keys, there's only one way you can go. Just go in. Oh, if you stare at it too long though. Oh no. Oh, it got Claire. Oh, it got Claire. Oh, Claire. Oh no. Oh no. So I guess we have to meet her in the future, or in at some other point.
The sheer beauty of what I can see.
I was gonna say, I mean, at least you got the view. At least you got that view.
Unimaginable. Few others will ever see.
Wowza.
For that, at least, I conclude this report with my usual sign-off request that you all go to hell.
Yeah, this job sucks and I hate you all, but hey, at least I got space. Yeah. Whoa, what is that? Oh, is this some kind of antimatter? Is this some kind of antimatter crap, like in Crisis? Is Doctor Who gonna pull off a crisis on infinite Earths or infinite planets? Oh god, is all the new faces are dying. Dan might be the only one face actually surviving. Claire dies, Vinda just dies too. Oh. Oh, jeez. Oh, you can't even touch anything. Oh, yeah, he's gone, he's gone. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, his sister. That's it, that was his sister. Oh, they're a brother-sister duo. Well, damn.
I've got a bone to pick with you.
Oh, come on. How many traps do I have to leave to get rid of you?
More than you have done so far. You're gonna tell me everything you know about the division.
The division?
And for every human, there's a paired guardian looper.
A guardian?
Genetic obligation.
But that would mean you're not abducting Dan then.
I'm saving him, you idiot.
Oh, he was pretty aggressive and antagonistic towards him for someone who was saving him.
Stun cube on him!
Just because we have to say it doesn't mean I have to like him.
Oh.
It infuriates
7 billion ships.
7 billion humans, one for each of the population.
Dan's best friend.
Yeah. So they're literally a dog race that's actually bound to humanity. Jesus Christ. 3 planets compromised. Destroyed.
Once the humans are on board, the individual ships unite to form a long-term survival structure.
Ah.
Except, does anyone ask humanity about this? Because I think they're gonna have an opinion.
We don't need to ask them. We're protecting them.
They still need to know that they're being protected.
Protection.
We were supposed to be sneaking in.
Alright, yeah, okay. Very, very brief, quick introductions.
That's amazing. I had one of these. I think his was a bit bigger, actually.
Shut up.
You had a mate who had a Tardis and a bigger Tardis? 30 trillion light years away. A lot of big numbers being used in this episode. The Sontarans! Oh, I didn't even realize that was a Sontaran ship. I didn't even realize that was a Sontaran ship. The Sontarans are back.
You look old.
My mission has withered me.
Yeah.
True.
Really? You look disgusting.
Yes. No point dwelling on it.
Really disgusting.
Oh god.
Continue.
You can just tell they're besties. You can tell. You can absolutely tell.
When you say nothing.
Yeah, there's definitely something. I love these shots. I really love these shots.
An amazing view.
Yeah. Oh, ooh, another vision, another connection. Oh, that was a really good shot. That was a really good shot from Iris to space. Oh, destroying everyone and everything. Yeah. Oh, that is a really good shot.
Dancing across space and time.
Is this another master?
I remember every battle.
Or maybe like a classic villain.
Gives me the advantage.
Maybe a classic villain.
Our final fight has begun.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
Sorry.
Mm.
Really sorry.
Oh, stop. Don't beat the TARDIS. Oh, the TARDIS isn't like that. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, God. Don't tell me Angel's gonna get her, too. Oh, she's being pulled in. Jesus. Everyone we get introduced to is being killed or kidnapped. Literally everyone. Dan is the exception. Dan is the one exception, because we've actually seen him and we know about him. Oh, it's the sister. It's the sister. Oh yeah, just form like a suit of armor around the world. A suit of armor around the world, just like Tony wanted. Ugh. Oh, you're dumb. Oh, well, you just had to mention it, didn't you? You're really gonna keep bashing the Tardis? Whoa! Oh boy, that's like what? Yeah, vortex, time vortex energy. Yeah, the power of time versus the flux. Oh, that's. Oh wow, it could even it just devours time. It just devours pure time energy. Oh. Oh, Claire, she's been sent back in time. What was this guy building? Oh god. Oh, it's not gonna feel so good. Oh, that's the end of it.
Continues next Sunday night.
I figured as much. I figured as much. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know if there's gonna be any kind of post credit or like next time or something. I'm not gonna really watch any previews any next times, and I'm really gonna watch those. But damn, wowza. Okay, so that was a solid one. That was a solid, like a solid season premiere. So much happened. I think definitely, like, not even stretching it out, but definitely kind of actually packing in like an hour's worth of content. So I think all these episodes are going to be an hour long, so that's going to be really super duper duper fun to edit down and everything. But that was really good. That was really fun. Introduced a lot and then took away just. It introduced a lot and then it took away almost as much. It like introduced like. It took away like what felt like over half of like almost half or just about half of what it actually introduced to us character wise and stuff, and the story itself seems to be just like a really explosive kind of beginning, so God knows how the ending will be. But yeah, a lot of really kind of great like character introductions, and I think for now just kind of being treated as like kind of like placeholders for later stories to take place, and just kind of like introducing these faces for now just so that we can actually have like a first initial look at them, but then somewhere down the line we'll get more episodes that actually explore who they are, where they're from, why they're here and stuff. So just like for now being kind of treated as placeholders. So yeah, it'll be fun to actually get to know them a bit more further on down the line. But yeah, we met Dan Lewis, played by John Bishop, and he is a museum curator. He's not an official museum curator, but he loves his kind of city, and he loves his home and like where he lives and its history enough to actually try and be a curator of some kind. And he just goes in without any kind of official kind of certification or ID or anything. He just kind of goes in. It's literally not even with malicious intent. He just actually loves doing it. And he just wants to go and do it and stuff. So I think they didn't really give any official reason as to why he can't do it, besides from the fact that he's not actually official staff. Like there's been no indication of it. There's been no indication of whether or not he's actually applied before, or if they've actually rejected him before, or what's happened. But it's just like, oh, you're not official staff, so you can't do it. But there was no mention from him as to whether or not he's applied before and they've said no, or like they've just not got any kind of like Di didn't even say that Diane didn't even actually mention whether or not they were actually full up and they had no vacancies, or whether they just didn't want him specifically. It's just like the guy in charge just said if he does it anymore, if he does it one more time, he's permanently banned. So no indication as to why he can't do it, but he just loves doing it. He loves doing it, so he goes in and he does it. And I think he also more officially he works at the food bank and he helps kind of give food and any other resources to people who need it. So he's just like a really good kind of positive guy. He just loves to be a part of like the community, and he loves to help people, and he loves to kind of share knowledge and to encourage more kind of awareness and activeness in history and in his town history and everything. So he seems like a really kind of chipper, kind of positive, kind of caring kind of guy. So I already love to see that kind of attitude and that kind of mentality in the show too. So he's going to get on swellingly too. He's going to get on swellingly with the Doctor Inez. But yeah, and he is bonded to the Carvanista. So the Carvanista, I think, to be fair, I think in terms of monsters, they actually introduced quite a bit. They introduced quite a bit, and they also brought back a lot more. I think they brought. I think the human faces and the alien faces are actually kind of being treated the same in this one episode too. Like quite a few of the alien and human faces are actually for now just kind of placeholders, and for now to just be introduced for now, so that we know like so we have like an idea of who's who and who's kind of who we need to focus on for now, and then later on down the line we get more exploration, obviously. So it'll be fun to catch up on that. But yeah, he's bonded to the Carvanista, and the Carvanista, yes. I mean, we saw it in the trailer. We saw it in the trailer, like an alien humanoid-looking dog, like a dog that can walk and talk and stand and look like a human-shaped body with like 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head and all that kind of stuff. So literally like a walking, like, I mean, if you want to be a bit more broad or a bit more cheeky about it, then maybe like Doctor Who's kind of Chewbacca or whatever. But then they are literally like a race of dogs. Although this one, I think Carvanista is actually the name of this one. I think the overall species is called the Lupari. So they are like alien kind of extraterrestrial dogs. So whether or not they are where dogs come from, we don't know yet, because we've only seen Carvanista. We haven't seen the dogs on the other ships. I think there's no telling as to whether they all look the same or whether they're like different breeds that then hints towards the origins of dogs on planet Earth itself. So even like even I think the Doctor actually calling him man's best friend too. So I think I really think it probably wouldn't even be the first time that they've actually tied a certain species' origins on Earth back to somewhere from outer space too. So I think it wouldn't be the most outlandish thing to be like, oh yeah, dogs on Earth that like aren't actually from Earth, they're actually descendants, and like they were brought here or they were placed here by the Carvanista and everything, or like I don't know, but like whatever they do with it, I am intrigued to see where they go with it. But I think they have kind of already painted them out. I mean, especially with the Lupari's kind of like racial kind of objective too. Like they are bonded. They have a species bond from Lupari to human, so each Lupari is bonded to human, as on Earth, like a dog would be bonded to its actual human owner and everything. So they're the species bond, which means that they protect when called upon. They receive kind of news or like imminent warnings or whatever, and alerts that humanity's in trouble. And especially in this case, in the case of the Flux, the Lupari have been called upon to now 7 billion Lupari ships. So all like each ship filled with we're operated by one Lupari to be bonded to one human individual on Earth. So yeah, the Lupari. So yeah, and I think he even tried like a force thing. He even actually tried like an actual force thing with Danvers. I think he actually tried to use a device too. So I think his force projector wasn't up to scratch, or it just wasn't really that powerful enough, or maybe Dan's too powerful for it. He just is like an easy overpower for the thing. So like he actually tried the actual force thing to try and actually get him to follow him, to get him to kind of submit his will and everything. So that was a neat trick. We met Claire too. And I recognize the actress. I can't remember what her name is, but I believe she was in Being Human in the UK version. I know there's also a US version, but in the UK version, she was in that. She was Mitchell's kind of dodgy partner who became like a vampire, and well, she wasn't initially dodgy. She was actually a perfectly normal girl for him to be with, but then he turned her into a vampire, and then afterwards her life became shit and she became twisted and everything. So she was in Being Human. I recognize the actress from that, and I think she's been here and there as well in other projects. But she was Claire, and she also knew the Doctor and Yaz. I think the way she talked about it too, I was kind of I was ever so slightly suspecting like another kind of Sally Sparrow kind of similar kind of character arc for her too, like her knowing the Doctor. And I think her knowing the Doctor and Yaz, I think in her past, but their future, because then she already knew them, so she'd already clearly met them, so she knew them from her past. But then in like their future, they had yet to actually meet her and actually see what was happening, what was going on. So she was there, and she didn't expect to run into them in Liverpool at all. She didn't really expect to see them in the street. She just kind of found them and met them quickly, and kind of like met them earlier than she'd intended. So because of that, she was actually able to let them know that was what the actual scheduling of their kind of timeline was. So that was interesting. So I think because of that, I think Claire, I think definitely kind of has like a more important role to play in that sense too. So I do wonder then, because she's been sent back to the past now, because she was captured by the Angel and she was sent back to the past. I do wonder maybe if that's how they meet. Like maybe she still meets them in that way. Like maybe then the Doctor and Yaz have to actually travel back into the past, and then they actually run into her in the past again, wherever she is, and then that's how that actually happens. So then maybe it's like maybe in that way it's her past too, maybe in that way it's actually her past too. So yeah, I don't know. I think she didn't really. I think though, I mean, and I mean again, if they're dealing with, if they meet her again through Weeping Angels too, then it's also like yeah, and like a maybe somewhat like a rehash of the Sally Farrow thing, but I think it's also maybe structured a little differently, and maybe it's actually meant to run a little differently too. But then she like definitely had experience and knowledge of the Weeping Angels. Like she didn't really, she saw it and she immediately knew what it was and stuff. So she was no stranger to the Weeping Angels or their powers or their tactics or anything. So she knew exactly what she was up against and knew to approach her own door with trepidation and stuff. And that scene, just anytime the Weeping Angels are on screen, anytime the tension levels just skyrocket through the roof, and it's just even as a viewer, maybe, well, depending on how seriously you take it, like even as a viewer, you don't blink and you don't look away. You don't take your eyes off of them for a minute, but then you don't really blink either. So she knew all of the or like she knew what to do and what not to do. So then I think that must mean then that she. But then I don't know if that would work with her past. I don't know if that would work with her being sent into the past and then meeting the Doctor, because then the way the Weeping Angels work is that they actually send you so far back in time that by the time that you end up dying long before you actually go long before you actually reach your present day again anyway. So then they feed off of what would have been your future, but then they send you so far back that they don't have to worry about you actually catching up to them through life or anything, because then that's next to impossible. So I don't know if that would. So I think it did like her experience with the Doctor and the Angels has to be like from still maybe in the present day, but maybe just like from before somewhere, but not like pre 1900s or something. So I don't know, but either way, she knew what she was doing. So she got so close. She got her door open. She stumbled a bit. She felt. I was really afraid that she was actually going to end up tripping on some kind of step and then falling, and then the Weeping Angel ending up actually towering over her on the ground or something, and then she just couldn't get out, and she just had to blink because she knew there was no way out. But no, she got so close. She actually got to the door. She looked away and blinked a couple of times. She looked away a couple of times, and the Weeping Angel got closer. And I think what was even creepy, I think like an even better, more solid display of the Angel's power and the Angel's kind of awareness of its strength and its dominance in that situation. It doesn't even uncover its face and make the whole scary pouncing until the very end. Each and every time it moves, its hand is still covering its face, and it's still kind of feigning some kind of innocent, kind of passive-aggressive kind of stance each time. But it's not until she then actually gets in and she opens the door, and then finally you see the Angel's reflection in her eyes too. And now anytime I see that kind of a shot, I'm instantly kind of flashback to season 5, back to when River said that which I think the story where Amy had the angel in her eye and everything, and she was about to actually turn into an angel or something like that which becomes the image of an angel then becomes a real angel. So then she actually started managing to actually manifest the angel from it traveling into her eye and then it coming out again, all that kind of stuff. So I was about it. I think for the most part it was just a really cool shot to show how close she was, yet how far away she was from actual kind of victory and actual safety and everything. So she got really close. She opened her door and got in, and then she blinked, and then she just couldn't help it. She blinked, and then the angel finally struck, and the door was wide open, just in the safety of her own home. It still got her. So and we even saw her actually traveling back in time at the very end when they were doing a summary of all the different faces we've seen they're still alive. We saw her back in like a field somewhere in the past, so she's been transported back now. So yeah, R.I.P. to her. But I think that then also does it could definitely mean that we then see the Doctor. I actually can't remember if that's possible. I really can't remember I really can't remember if it's actually possible to actually go back in time and run into someone who's actually been sent back in time by the angels. I think they use their own power to actually disrupt time, to change time, and to actually do that to people. So I think actually, I don't know. I think maybe bringing them back might be the issue, because I think I can't remember if the Doctor ever I can't remember if the Doctor has ever actually considered or even explained if there are any risks with actually going back in time and collecting people who have been sent back and then brought back and brought back and everything, or if it's just the angels doing that. The angels doing that is enough damage to the timeline itself, but then actually interacting with people or bringing them back would be even more kind of hazardous or something. So I'm not sure, but Yeah, I don't know, but I think maybe they could go back and meet her. Maybe they could, or maybe like I don't know. Maybe they'll go back in time and meet her, but then not so far back to where she's been tonight. But then maybe they'll maybe they'll meet her and then help her on like her kind of her own journey defeating the angels, and then actually create the person that we see that gets captured by the angel in this episode. So maybe like we see her origins as how she becomes the Claire that we see in this episode, somewhere later down the line, or maybe both. Maybe both could happen. It's Doctor Who. Maybe both could happen. So yeah, but Claire, we met Claire. So she got so close. She got so close. But not far enough. Not far away enough. So yeah. And then we met Vinda. We met Inton v Vinda. I think I've written down Inton. I believe that was what they actually said. Inton v Vinda, played by Jacob Anderson, and he was just on like his own kind of very kind of fit for one person kind of space shuttle kind of thing, just kind of floating through space and all. I think orbiting some kind of like an actual planetary system or like a galactic system. Some kind. He was just kind of observing like his own kind of station and his own post and everything, and nothing was changing. Literally all this time, nothing was really changing. So he just had to keep on reporting that in and stuff. And as a result, I think he was very very aggressive and very not aggressive, but he was very like dissatisfied and annoyed with his job, and he was like like signing off. Now I hate you all for leaving me here and for making me do this. But the one advantage is that he has an absolutely gorgeous view of space that even he admits that very few people have the luxury of seeing. So for that much he's grateful. But then I think even because I think he was pretty much also stuck kind of like actually observing one like system as well. So I think after a while like even that then can still. I feel like even space, like if you're observing the exact same spot of space for like however long he was doing it for, like I think he was doing it for like he had done like I think well over like 1,000 reports or something. So he had been observing it for a while now, and still like nothing was changing. And he even said nothing ever really changes. And then he was still observing the same spot for that long. So even that at a point that can still get boring too. Because then once that happens, you then hope to be moved to some other kind of system. So then you can have like an even fresher view. But that wasn't happening. So and then this one time he ends up actually finally stumbling upon something, and it's the antimatter wave. So but yeah, no. So the antimatter wave. It looks very similar, and especially I think especially it looks to operate in a very similar way too. Like it just kind of like moves through space, just devouring everything and anything in its path too. It's like an actual wave of particles that just cause nothing but damage and destruction to anything it comes into contact with. So I think it definitely looks and just like even sounds like it operates very similarly to an antimatter wave. So it could be antimatter for all we know, but either way, it's the Flux, and it destroyed quite a few of the planets in the system that Binder was operating, and then he took like an emergency kind of shuttle pod thing out of his station, and then actually managed to escape just barely. So it's traveling fast too. And I think it hit his galaxy, it hit his kind of station, and then after that we cut to the end, and it had already managed to make its way to Earth too. So it's traveling fast and it's destroying everything. So yeah, and then that ending too. The Lupari actually managed to make like an actual literal suit of armor around the world too. I was gonna say this might put like the entire planet into some kind of darkness or something, but then to be fair, it was already nighttime. It was already literally Halloween night and everything. So besides from maybe some shiny spaceships in the sky, they might not really see much. But even then, it's like the people of Earth at this point are really almost used to anything. It's like being in it's like living in the Marvel universe as a civilian. Like you're used to almost everything happening at that point. Alien invasion, terrorist attack, whatever. Just you just know that the Avengers are going to show up and do stuff. But then, of course, in this world, not nearly as many people know about the Doctor or what she does. So they can still assume something will happen, but they just know that it's gonna go away in in the next kind of day or two, and then they can go back to their normal lives and everything. So that was cool. And so then the Doctor then actually found out the truth about the Lupari and their connection with the humans, and found out what their purpose was. So then she actually managed to strike a deal with Carbonista and actually have him kind of communicate with his own people and actually like, you know, structure these ships in connection and in like an armored connection around the thing, like a suit of armor around the world, just like Tony wanted. So in that universe, he can't have it. But in this universe, if he, you know, came here, then he'd be more than happy with what they were doing. So, you know, even temporarily. So they made that, and then I think she even actually fired the vortex energy. She even actually took a swing at the Tardis console with that. I mean, poor Tardis. She actually got hit by the hammer so much throughout this entire episode. She like every time she was unable to cooperate because of the Flux's interference, like she'd be punished for it. Like the Flux would refuse to let her like actually operate the way she wanted to, and the way that she was being made to, and then the Doctor would just actually smack her in the console with the hammer and everything. I mean, the hammer itself, I mean, it, you know, became iconic with the 10th Doctor, the 10th Doctor using different kind of techniques to operate the TARDIS and everything, and him actually using the hammer to strike different parts and commands and everything, and now they even... I mean, I really don't think I think Matt Smith never had 11 never had the hammer to my knowledge, and Capaldi to 12 no, they definitely never had the hammer. So now 13 is bringing the hammer back, and she is using it to her full advantage too. She's just smacking it every time something goes wrong, and then it's just like, you know, and I mean, to be fair, she does say like, oh, sorry, I don't mean to, you know, harm you like this, but I need you to work, and the hammer is the only way to actually, is somehow the only way to get that to happen. So then she knew that, and then she actually took one final swing in the end, and actually ended up actually kind of, I think, maybe like tearing open the console, and like some pure vortex energy came flying out too. So I think the last time I remember seeing that was back in Ninth Doctor's kind of era, with Rose absorbing the time vortex energy and becoming Bad Wolf and everything. So nice little kind of callback, but this time it's actually firing the vortex energy out through open doors at the Flux, and even the Flux can handle that. Like I mean, to be fair though, I think with the Flux, like the Flux is, you know, it destroys anything it comes into contact with. So I think all it really did was actually destroy some energy from the time vortex and just absorb it maybe, or just to like destroy pure time energy or something. So not a lot can really take the Flux down. So that is a very bad sign. So yeah. And I mean, giving Jodie's final season like a very, very kind of universe-shattering kind of destructive event like the Flux is like a great way to kind of send her out to, like actually starting the season off. I mean, giving her final season this kind of an event at all is pretty good. But actually, I think even the way they started off too, like this whole season premiere has actually been like a pretty solid kind of setup and a solid introduction, like actually kind of driving you face first into the danger, and actually introducing all these different kind of players that seem to be really key later on down the line, and then actually literally ending it off on like a potentially destructive and very, very deadly kind of cliffhanger. It's like it feels very much like a kind of like the way that Doctor Who is, and the way that it's always been, and makes me reminds me of like the kind of things that I love story wise and character wise about Doctor Who and everything. So it's really great. It's really great to have like her final season actually starting off on this kind of, you know, like this hectic of like a high note and everything as well. So yeah, it's really fun. And then I think we didn't really get names for them, but I think the brother and sister who are like alien skull face people. I think the brother was rumored by the original kind of Watcher to actually have been imprisoned there since the dawn of time, which is, I mean, rumored to have been imprisoned there. But then even that prison system, that's one of the worst prison systems I've ever seen. I mean, unless it was like on like some kind of isolated alien planet that was miles away from any kind of nearby civilization or nearby kind of galaxy, then that would be the one exception. But then even then, it's like, you know, it's like a force field prison cell on like place like slap bang in the middle of like potentially miles of like open space, and like he's not even in like a building. He's not even like it's not like they even have like an actual prison system running on that planet with other prisoners, and he's like down 2 trillion feet deep in the planet in like some kind of basement or so. Like he's actually like he has a view of the outside world. He has, you know, like I mean, we don't even know why he's been in prison in the first place. So you know, like whatever crimes he's committed. I mean, maybe he's actually just done, like, I mean, he, has the ability to actually to actually disintegrate and absorb people at the same time too, so he actually disintegrates them and then absorbs what's left of their kind of remains and uses that to power up and everything, so probably did that to a bunch of people, and then probably did some other stuff as well, but he doesn't really seem like a guy with good intentions or any kind of, non-evil plans, so he very clearly is being set up to be some kind of antagonist. So there's that, and then he actually found the final two, like the two people who actually had like their own kind of little device thing that actually sent them a warning, but they didn't want to have to answer. They didn't want to have to answer, and they didn't want to have to actually accept that a warning was finally coming, because then it would make their jobs all the more real. So then the woman just kind of destroyed it and left it to go on beeping in their absence, and then the guy snuck into their room while they were sleeping, and then he killed the guy, but then he actually transformed the girls, and the girl was actually revealed to be his sister, who was also like a skull face kind of woman too. So yeah, I don't know, just really crazy stuff, really crazy sci-fi stuff happening, and I think and he knows the Doctor too. He knows the Doctor. I think I was really curious, right? Because I do remember, like in Classic Who, we have had a version of the Master before, who was really, really fun. I think it's actually known as the Crispy Master. I think it's actually fairly colloquially known as the Crispy Master, but we have actually had a version of the Master before that was actually really burnt and ashen and stuff, and seeing this guy here and seeing the way that he talked to actually reminded me of that, and I think even him saying we've danced across years and across stars, and we're about to fight one more time, we're about to have our final battle, so I thought, and even the way he was dressed, I think the suit, the jacket and suit stuff he was wearing actually reminded me somewhat similarly of Sacha Dewan's Master too. Like, it actually reminded me ever so slightly of his, maybe like a different color or something, and maybe like some different kind of under kind of like shirt and everything. So I think it definitely didn't fly past my head the possibility of him being yet another incarnation of the Master that maybe got turned into something else, or maybe got crystallized or something. So maybe he's actually just got like a skull and some crystals or diamonds or something hanging out of his head. So, but I think he did not. I think because the Doctor made it clear that she didn't know him, but then he was like, "Oh, I know you." He didn't try and remind her of who he was, or to try and do any kind of sneaky wordplay. He just said, we fought before, and now we're gonna fight again, and I definitely know you, so now we're gonna have yet another kind of battle between us. So kind of makes me wonder, I think, and especially because I haven't really seen much of Classic Who at all, it definitely makes me wonder. Definitely makes me wonder, if it could be yet another villain that they're bringing back from the past. But then I feel like if that was the case, then maybe people might have actually mentioned it online or something. Because then people, I think people have had no trouble actually calling back to how the Sontarans' new looks actually look similar, so similar to their older Classic Who looks and everything. So I feel like if they were classic villains, then I think I'd probably just know about it just from the sheer kind of magnitude of discussions happening on the internet. So I'm not sure. And the Sontarans, we actually saw the Sontarans returning too, and that was, I think, the Weeping Angels and the Sontarans, two faces I definitely didn't think we'd be seeing this early in the season. I think especially the more people, I think both the more faces we saw being introduced, but also the actual returning faces being introduced this early was what made me think, okay, these guys are actually going to end up being more and more key and more pivotal later on down the line. But for now they're just kind of placeholders to make you. For now, they're just kind of placeholders to actually make you aware of who's in this season right now, and make you just kind of wonder how you're going to see them when you're going to see them. So I think it's also fairly easy to maybe think that they're introducing or showing you too much too quickly. But I think at the same time, it's with how short the season is going to be too, I think it's for now it kind of makes sense that they're doing more earlier, because then that way they have less time to actually focus on introductions, and then later on down the line they can maybe focus on going into more heavier story details or story themes, and by the time you get to at least episode 3, maybe then they're the writers themselves are actually kind of trusting that that you're already aware of who's going to be in this, and they're trusting that the basic gist of the season so far. So I think with the season being as short as it is and stuff, even with hour-long episodes, with the season being as short as it is, I think it feels pretty kind of okay, and it feels pretty necessary to actually have these introductions happening now. And it's just it's nothing too in your face, but it's just like a quick glimpse at different people and like a quick kind of like very kind of like fair. Fairly briefish kind of introductions to who's going to be here, so it feels okay for now. It actually feels kind of like pretty suitable, and it feels like a very, very kind of fitting kind of introduction and like a reintroduction to all the things that we already know. So it seemed fun in that sense. But yeah, even the Sontarans actually knew about the Flux, and they were happy too. They were happy, and I think it feels weird that they were happy because I think the Flux doesn't really. I think, you know, the Flux neither seems to be something of their creation, nor does it seem to be something that's really on their side. Like the Flux seems pretty indiscriminate about who and what it destroys. Like the Flux is seems like a pretty, like a fairly kind of like non-sentient kind of all like equal kind of like force of destruction. Like it kills anything and everything that actually comes across. I think even if it came across the Sontarans, then it probably wouldn't really hesitate to destroy them either. But then the Sontarans, being known to be warriors and conquerors, like they just see this as like an opportunity to actually destroy any planets that are like unprepared for the Flux, and maybe seem to see the Flux as some kind of like, you know, planetary advantage, like actually conquering Earth and conquering any other planets that they might come across and everything. So they seem pretty kind of, you know, pretty chipper and pretty positive and stuff at the idea of like the Flux giving them any kind of advantage. I mean, again, like the Flux literally like it doesn't just wipe out populations; it literally destroys the planets themselves. And then, you know, like no matter where they go, I think the Flux is also meant to be like, it's also said to be like an actual universe kind of scouring kind of force of destruction too. So it doesn't really seem like even if they do conquer a planet, it doesn't really seem like they'll really get to keep it for that long, because then the Flux will come along and they'll have to evacuate and everything. But then I don't know, maybe the Sontarans have some other kind of plan up their sleeve. Maybe they're either looking, or maybe they found a way to kind of control the Flux. Or I don't know. Maybe they do have some kind of connection to the Flux that we're not seeing yet. And maybe in the actual Sontaran episode, we'll see exactly what their plan for domination is and how they might either overcome or try and control the Flux, or how they might kind of connect to the Flux in some way. Because I feel like so far every villain we've seen might just end up actually being connected to the Flux in some way, whether it's using it to their advantage, or actually using it to evade death and destruction, or actually using it to do something. Like I think, you know, like the because I think so far it seems like the Flux is the end game. The Flux is definitely the end game, and then everyone else kind of is revolving around it, like the Doctor included. So it definitely feels like the Doctor's gonna have to deal with aliens who, you know, want to do all this stuff to Earth and to other planets and to the universe, and as well as actually trying to deal with this kind of all new, all powerful force of death that even the powers of the TARDIS can't really kind of take out on its own. So yeah, and even like the Doctor is actually connected to like the Doctor is connected to the actual Skullface alien, and you know, she seems to have like a connection with him that seems to allow like actual kind of mental communication, and she can feel it too. She actually managed to connect through space through to the Flux, and actually managed to feel it actually destroying planets and destroying people. So she can actually feel the end of the universe. She can actually feel the destruction of the universe actually happening as it happens, which must be a really, you know, painful and depressing thing to have to actually deal with. So yeah, some pretty dangerous stuff, pretty heavy stuff. And yeah, I mean, going back to the quickly going back to the TARDIS stuff, like the TARDIS was really going through, like not just with the matter, but the TARDIS was really actually going through in this episode too. Actually, like having doors pop up in different places. I think towards the end too. I think by the time they picked up Dan, like they actually had like a different door too, because they came in through one door that was like in the floor, so they literally had to actually climb up, like it was like a manhole cover. But then I do remember seeing like the actual door still in the background. So I think first the door moved. First the door actually moved like to the other side of the TARDIS, to the other side of the TARDIS or something. So it was actually in like a different place overall. Whether or not the original door was there or not, I don't know. But I think the door, they still open the door from the outside the same way. But then like how they actually get inside and like what side of the inside they actually get in was different. And then afterwards, same thing happened where they actually end up actually climbing through doors. So I think it's a different different doors, different entrances, and then like the same exit and everything. And then the TARDIS was leaking too. The TARDIS was actually leaking from one of its kind of crystal kind of column thingies too. So that'd be like time source or time juice or Artron juice. I mean, TARDIS runs on Artron energy, so maybe Artron juice or source or something that's just kind of some kind of liquid, like maybe kind of like the TARDIS is oil, if the Doctor ever actually that's the oil, the TARDIS or something with some kind of special oil. But either way, the TARDIS is going through like I think with the flux happening, I think especially with the flux actively, even the Doctor describing the flux as something that disobeys the laws of time and space too. I think with the TARDIS being like the beacon of time and space energy, and actually being like the one ship capable of actually doing all the things that it can do. It was definitely kind of feeling the heat of the flux's kind of transportation and kind of movement and kind of perseverance throughout the universe and everything. So it's really like a battle of the flux's kind of energy and its destruction versus the TARDIS wanting to stay alive and actually trying to stay alive in a universe that was just kind of continuously being destroyed and everything. So the TARDIS, I feel like the TARDIS actually might end up going through it. If they don't destroy the Flux soon, then I feel like the TARDIS actually might end up actually really just going through it this season. So that would be really, really tough to watch. But yeah, and then even of course Dan being brought to the TARDIS too. Did Dan, obviously like new companion comes on board, you're always going to be curious to see what their reaction is, and it's always usually the same, like, oh yeah, big on the inside, and it's all this, that, and the other. But then here's one, he also claimed to have actually had a mate who had like a TARDIS or like a phone box of his own. His was bigger, so I don't know if we're meant. I really don't know if we're meant to look too much into that, or if that was just like some kind of cheeky line. Because I really don't know if in that day and age they would actually have any kind of access to police boxes or anything. So, and I think but then he even said that his was bigger. So I really don't. I don't know if that's meant to mean anything. I think Dan is meant to be a new companion, so I don't know if that's any kind of hint as to whether or not he's actually met like another version of the Doctor, or if he's actually, met. I don't know, maybe. But no, I really don't know. Again, unless they're pulling right, unless they're pulling a fugitive Doctor story, but with Dan, but with like a companion. So maybe this is a companion that we've never seen before, but one who has traveled with the Doctor. Maybe one that got Donnered. Maybe one that got Donnered and actually had his memory erased and everything, so he doesn't really remember he's a companion. He's actually a companion, but now with Donna, then like her remembering meant that her mind burned up and she kind of her mind exploded and knocked out the other Masters in that one Christmas episode. But with this one, Dan just kind of maybe his memory erasure was somewhat less kind of hazardous and be somewhat less kind of damaging, but maybe for him he just kind of he walks into a completely different TARDIS, but then feels like it's actually similar to one that he's seen before. So maybe he traveled with 10 or 9 or 8 or something. I don't know, but again, don't know if you're meant to look that much into it. Just kind of thinking about it got me thinking, and it made me theorize, as one usually does. So I'm not sure, but he had that kind of a cheeky kind of throwaway line. So I'm wondering if that might get explored later on down the line, or if it's gonna, But to be fair though, he didn't really believe that the TARDIS from the outside could actually be a spaceship. So I think his reaction to that was pretty much kind of normal for was actually normal for a new companion. So I think from the outside he didn't really recognize it as a TARDIS at all. But then once he got inside and actually saw the thing, that's when he actually started to kind of click in his mind, and he's like, oh yeah, I've actually been in one of these before, but then the other guys was actually bigger. So I don't know, but yeah, because have we had TARDIS? Have we had a console room bigger than 13's before? I think 11's was pretty big. I think because in his one you had the regular walk-on platform, and then stairs, and then another platform, and then stairs. So I'm gonna do something. His one was pretty big, and then thingy. The seventh and eighth, because then I think the seventh and eighth Doctors, the interiors were pretty fucking big. Because in that one you had the console, but then even surrounding it you had a dining area and a library. Like that one was easily just one of the biggest the show's had so far, and stuff. I think because that one was the biggest, but then even before and after that you mostly just had small console rooms that were exclusively the console rooms, and then you had to actually go through another door and another set of stairs to actually reach any of the other rooms. But then I think it was weird in the TV movie, and in the TV movie you had the Seventh Doctor, his TARDIS actually looked much bigger, and it actually had you go in and you see the console room, but then even surrounding it are other different areas that the Doctor can kind of relax in. He even actually sat down and read a book and everything. So Yeah, I don't know. He could be a companion from a past life, or he could just be, just joshing the Doctor around, or just like, just messing with her, or actually, being like, oh, I've seen bigger. I don't know, but either way, I guess we'll find out later on down the line. But yeah, the TARDIS going through it, definitely going through it, and hopefully somehow able to survive the destruction, the destructive kind of capabilities of the Flux. So I guess we shall see. And yeah, I mean, I really love the Yaz and the Doctor stuff with this. I think I'm really glad they started off the episode actually having some solid, kind of really strong kind of Yaz and the Doctor moments in this too. Like the Doctor clearly hiding stuff, the Doctor really, really clearly hiding stuff from her, and then like Yaz just desperately wanting to not be closed off and wanting to be a part of her life, and then wanting like the Doctor to actually trust Yaz enough and to actually not be not just trust, but I think the Doctor is also kind of afraid. I think the Doctor has also kind of somewhat historically been afraid of actually letting the companions too far in, but then also actually like letting them get hurt by the information that she knows too. Like maybe if they know too, then they could get roped into some other kind of tension or some other kind of trauma, and then they can end up getting hurt. So then I think it's like less trust. Because I think if she didn't trust Yaz, then she clearly would have actually left her back in Sheffield too. So then she trusts Yaz more than enough. But then she's also I think she's also kind of like afraid of actually. She's also letting she's afraid of actually letting herself be vulnerable to Yaz. But then she's also like she doesn't want to hurt Yaz with any of this information, because then it's for her it's clearly like dangerous and stuff. But then Yaz wants the Doctor to trust her enough to actually even like to not think that she's gonna get hurt, or to actually like to trust her, like to actually be able to protect herself enough too. So then she just kind of wants to have no barriers, no walls, no secrets, nothing that's really restrictive between them. So she wants like full length, full on kind of trust and companionship and relationship between her and the Doctor. So she is really kind of working towards that, and actually hoping that the Doctor actually learns that she can, and that she wants the Doctor to open up to her and everything. And even their banter at the beginning too, even their banter is just classic and just good old, and just so kind of like so positive and so warm and funny and everything. So they just get along really well together. But then you also do still have those moments like when the Doctor just doesn't really tell her much, or doesn't really tell her anything at all, and just expects her to just kind of like improvise her way through, and expects her to actually just kind of get stuff done, which she does. She managed to rescue Dan and operate that alien kind of computer system and everything, and actually managed to unlock the cage and even turn off the electric kind of electrified bars and everything. So she can do stuff. Yaz Khan can do stuff. Yasmin Khan is a very capable young woman. So she and the Doctor are both in each other's good hands. So that's a good sign. But yeah, no, I think like seeing the series, like the season itself, actually starting off with such a mixture of like positive banter and also heavier kind of heavier kind of discussion and heavier talking and heavier kind of just overall just heavier back and forth was really good to see. Was really good to see to actually show like audiences that to show people that they have that kind of positive outgoing kind of relationship as well. But then also like there's a deeper level to the both of them that they're really kind of like at this point kind of like semi struggling to really overcome, because of the fact that one of them is so closed off and so restrictive about some stuff, but then the other one is actually wanting to actually be let in and be opened up to, and actually wanting to be trusted with that kind of info, and actually wanting to be let in on all parts of her life, because then that's what Yaz wants. She wants to be part of the Doctor's life. She wants to be with the Doctor and everything. So she really kind of wants that, and I think especially with Graham and Ryan gone too. I think even like that was even the Doctor's argument too. Graham and Ryan left and they decided to live their own life, but then you stayed with me and I gave you the adventures of a lifetime. I showed you some amazing things, and for Yaz, it's it's not just about the amazing things, but it's about us actually talking and you not being afraid to let me in and to actually treat me like your other, and to actually to not be afraid to use my ears whenever you need them, and to actually let me in and actually connect with me and actually treat me like your equal and your partner and everything. So that kind of stuff, just I think because of that, I have such high hopes for Yaz and the Doctor's relationship in this season, and then to see where they go from here, and to see like how far they can go and how far they'll get and everything. So just seeing that just gives me really high hopes, and I have felt nothing but love towards the Doctor and Yaz's kind of companionship blossoming over, like since their introduction, and seeing them growing together and actually seeing them connecting together and everything since their introduction way back when. So seeing how far they've come now, Yaz is a seasoned companion. She's a veteran companion at this point. She knows what she's doing. She's with the Doctor. She kind of knows that, she doesn't know everything that's out there, like not all of the enemies that the Doctor has fought, but then she still knows that, the universe is still full of all these different things that can't really be immediately or simply simply explained. So she knows that the Doctor has actually seen some shit, and then she's tried to keep her away from the darker stuff, but then sometimes the darker stuff finds them, but then they get through it together. So now I think with that being the case, with them getting through it together being the case, I think she just kind of uses that among other things as the main kind of foundation, for them kind of being more open and being more connected with each other and everything. So yeah, hopefully now going forward we'll actually see. I think eventually it will become a case of the Doctor really has no choice but to tell her, but then I'm hoping even that will hopefully be used as a reason for the Doctor to actually come to the realization that, this is stuff that she really should talk about, but then also that she really can talk about with Yaz, someone who knows her, someone who cares about her, someone who loves her, and someone who actually wants to be at least the one person in the universe that she can actually open up to and talk to and everything. So yeah, just seeing some really solid kind of starts for the Doctor and Yaz this season. Just already here for it. So it's really fun. And poor Dan, lost his house too. He lost his house. The fake laptop left behind by the Carvanista. I'm still confused by that too. They made it clear it was still an actual trap too. To a trap left behind by Carvanista to actually I'm gonna get that name swapped over, Carvanista to Carnavista and stuff. So they made it clear it was a trap left behind by him to take them down and to minimize the house with them inside it, so they'd be trapped and everything. But then I think the reasoning for that sounded so weird too, like the Doctor asking why he had such a flashy laptop too, or why he had such a fancy laptop, which for one thing, it didn't really look that fancy. I think maybe even after her using the Sonic on it, actually made it do more than the regular kind of functions would enable it to. So I think her using the Sonic to actually do the other things kind of added more features to it. But then even those would be temporary. So even the regular one didn't really look all that much. It looked like an actual basic enough kind of laptop, a basic enough kind of laptop that would be suited for his needs. I didn't really get the reasoning behind that. He has a fancy laptop, that must be a trap. It was left behind by the Carvanista, the the one alien advanced enough to leave some really flashy technology behind. But then, I don't know. That just seemed weird. Just for one, assuming that he wouldn't have a fancy laptop as a whole, let alone a laptop in general. But then also then kind of somehow then reaching that conclusion to the Carvanista actually leaving behind a miniaturization bomb and everything, and then they got out just in time, and I thought the house would actually kind of start to implode or something, or maybe it would actually just shrink up into atoms and then disappear. But no, it actually got miniaturized down to an actual tiny kind of action figure style house, and even the person next door being in the bathroom, I think their plumbing was connected or something, so maybe that wall just got torn off along with it, and then they were just kind of left exposed to the outside world in the least of expected ways. So poor them. But then poor Dan, he has no house now. He has no more house. So I think it literally gives him even more reason to stick around with the Doctor and Yaz and to actually join them. Because I think once you take away someone's choice to go back home, then they really just have no other choice whatsoever. They really don't really have much of a choice. I think even then it's I think they had enough. I think even then they had enough trouble actually piloting the TARDIS to where they needed her to go. So then even then it's even if they wanted to go back to Earth and drop Dan back down somewhere in Liverpool, they probably couldn't, and it would take more time out of their mission too. So then it's what better way to introduce him and to actually keep him as a companion in the same episode. And he missed his date with Diane too. But then Diane was taken into that creepy house by the Skullface siblings and everything. She was taken in by them, literally kind of pulled into the house by some kind of mysterious gravity, and then she landed in a pool, and then the sister approached her and everything. So she's probably going to be some kind of key player, just because she's connected to Dan and everything. So, oh boy. yeah. But yeah, that is it. And then I think there was some stuff back in Liverpool 1820. Some guy was actually doing some mining and actually hiring more and more workers, like by any means necessary and from any background necessary to actually try and create something or to try and actually build something. So I think that was the very beginning of it all. And then he talked about like something that was coming, like some kind of cataclysm, some kind of disaster that would be unstoppable and impossible. So I think maybe he knew about the Flux coming years and years and years from now, like over 200 years from now. So he knew about it, and I think maybe he was building something against it, or maybe he was building something to try and defend the world against it or something. So that is going to be a really interesting flashback to see how it connects back into the future and back into the present day and everything. So hopefully, I think maybe the Doctor might stumble across that and actually find some kind of connection there that she can use. So that'll be good to see. But yeah, that is everything that is literally everything I can think of that happened in this. I don't know if there were more tidbits that I've missed out on or any other details that I might only remember or pick up on when I watch the episode back a second time. But either way, that is pretty much everything I have collected and connected from this episode. So from my first initial viewing. So yeah, amazing season opener. Pretty damn good season opener. Really can't wait to see where this actually takes us and how far it goes and exactly what kind of what kind of story that Flux is going to be and how it's going to treat Jodie as her last season and what kind of interactions we might get between her and former enemies and even newer enemies and how her and Yaz and Dan might get along with each other and how the Doctor and Yaz might flourish in this season and how Dan's going to try and integrate into this and how he's going to be able to deal with all the kind of crazy intergalactic stuff that happens. So yeah, it'll be fun to watch. It'll be very fun to watch. So hopefully every week we get something good. But yeah, for this week that is it. That is pretty much all I've got from this first episode. So that was Doctor Who Flux episode 1. So thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Doctor Who Flux and what your theories are for the season and if you're looking forward to this final season and all that kind of jazz and what you hope to see. Once again, full-length reaction over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.